What's shaking, Chewy Nation, and welcome back to another Madden 22 video. It's kind of different video for me. If you've caught my recent videos, a lot of solo battle videos, which seem like people like those, so glad I can help there. But today's video is going to be a little bit different. I am wearing my Madden t-shirt, not even on purpose, but it's not like I don't play the game, I don't enjoy the game. But I'm going to talk about the issues I have with the game, and yeah, I feel like this could be kind of all over the place with how people feel. Think some people may agree. I hope so. I hope I'm not I'm just by myself on an island here. A lot of people may disagree as well. Leave a like if you enjoy the video, but more importantly, leave a comment down below on your thoughts on anything that I say or any ideas that you have on ways to improve the game. Always interested in relaying this feedback as well. So I want to talk first about gameplay. I'm not going to spend much time on this because gameplay we already know is all it's not great. The game's been out for over a month, still a lot of bugs, still a lot of issues with zones, and overall, yeah, there's a lot of issues. The meta is gun bunch offset, nickel 335 wide on defense, and that's, if you play a lot, that's pretty much all you face. So it's not great for long-term health. I could go into a lot of issues with the way that zones play and why they don't play correctly, even by football standards, even if we don't even just think of it as a video game. If we look at it from real NFL simulation, where the issues are, there's a lot of them. But I'm not going to go into that because plenty of people have talked about that. The game is not great gameplay wise. I think that's fair to say. There's a lot of issues with it. Now, with that said, let's talk about the thing that I want to talk about overall. The overall issue with the other piece of MUT. So obviously I play MUT, so that's what I'm focusing on. MUT has a whole separate, it's a whole separate game mode and content, what comes out every week, every day, that, people spend money on it. And overall, I think it's been mostly well received the last couple years. But it's kind of hit me the last few days that I don't really like the content. I think the content is not great. And I'm going to say I don't think it's great. So the content schedule we get right now is Tuesday's Team of the Week, Wednesday's Wildcard Wednesday, Thursday Limiteds, Fridays if there's a promo, and then Saturday Legends. So the problem with the way I think the content works, and this is the big idea the big things, everything going in my head. I am going to talk about ways that I think it could be improved, though. I think if there's, anytime you criticize, I always think it should be constructive. How can you improve it? So when you look at the overall content, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, but it seems to me the way the content is laid out that is already made before the year begins. Like, not just planned out. It probably should be planned out. That makes sense. Business model, you want to plan everything out. I get that. But it also seems like it's mostly made. The players are already chosen a lot of times. You'll get players that are in the wrong position. You get players that are not even on that same team anymore. Like, they don't even change them out. Like, they're like, I know with, what was it, True Font, never even played for Chicago, which is kind of interesting. So in future years, he probably won't even get the Chicago Bears Kim. He only gets it this year, just heads up, because that's the rule they've put in place. But anyways, yeah, so you have players that don't even play for the team anymore. Bernard McKinney last year got a item, and he wasn't even on the Texans anymore, and now he's not even on the Dolphins anymore, which is kind of crazy. But you have players that it's been a few weeks a lot of times where they not even on the team, and they still get an item. So I get that it's at least, is in advance, but how far in advance is it? Don't know exactly. I'm thinking a lot of this stuff is probably made before the game even comes out. Like, is Most Fear done already? Is the Christmas promo, whatever that is, Ultimate Freeze, whatever it's called, is that already done? Thanksgiving, Barry Sanders, is he already locked? Of course he is. We always get, but is there stuff, how much stuff is already locked in place, and how much is moving based on the year? And I personally think a lot of it's already locked in. And maybe I'm just a pessimistic on that, but I just feel like it's all planned out. And that's fine. But then you have the issue, it's fine to an extent. You have an issue where the actual game, the NFL, this is an NFL simulation, a simulation, which I get, to me, is a video game. Have fun. You don't have to be like the NFL. But I do enjoy watching the NFL, right? And I like seeing players that I see in the NFL play with them in the game, right? I enjoy that. I think a lot of people enjoy that. And it seems like they've completely went away from that. That's not even part of the model anymore. The thing that we get on Tuesdays is that is Team of the Week. Team of the week used to be like a whole team, I think, right? Wasn't it like every position? And now it's just a few players. Again, it's an 80. Well, not again. It's the first time I said it. An 80, 287s, and a 91. Those are 4 new items. I think that's what we got. And then you got I think it was 3 +1s, which is kind of lazy in my opinion, but it's fine. Some people like that. 3 +1s, and then the hero, the limited, which was the hero is the 91, I think. The limited, which was from the previous year. So Myles Garrett from 2018, I think it was. So and then you have the legends. So altogether, there was only 7 actual upgrades from this week. 4 new items and 3 +1s. So let's even say the +1s count for new items or new upgrades. They kind of do. I mean, +1s, whatever. But that's 7 total, right? 7 from a total of like 1,700 active players. We got 7. And if, which is what maybe I'm wrong, if the content is pretty much planned out throughout the year, that's all we get every week from what actually happens in the NFL. So you don't really get what happened that week. You get a very small subset of it that actually what happened on the NFL. And into that, I just want to go a little bit on that. I feel like if we get like some cool moments, I'd like to see that kind of in the game. You know, if somebody puts a nasty juke on a player, why not give them like 95 juke or something crazy? You know, it doesn't have to make the best item ever, but I feel like it would be cool. You know, you have that juke as the card art and you give them like 95 juke and just, you know, something fun. But I know they follow a progression system where it's like, well, if you give him 95 juke, then his next card will have to be 96 or 97, and then you got to keep going up. But why? Why does it have to follow that? Like, why does it have to do that? Why can't he have 95 juke this week and then the following card be a much lower juke, but all the other ratings are up? I don't personally understand the progression system, why they're so strict on that, but that will go into what I think. So I don't want to just complain on how they do Team of the Week. They did used to do it with a lot more content. They end up changing it where they don't do much at all. So it's not like this isn't unprecedented. They could go back. They probably have to maybe hire some more people because they probably downsized because they could, but they could. I mean, they have done in the past. They have made a lot of content on Mondays to go out on Tuesdays. Every winning team, this is what I'm thinking, every winning team, 16 teams right now, there will be less teams, so that's less work later on, gets an item. That's 16 teams right now, right? You then have a hero, that would be 17. You have your previous legends if you want to keep that. A couple of them, and whatever. You could have some +1s if you still want that. Overall, about 20 items, right? You could have a losing player in there as well if they had a crazy good game. About 20, maybe a few extra items. That, based on the game, that's still not a lot, but that's way more than what we're getting. And then, here's the other part. These items are not terrible. Like, that they actually have some sort of resemblance to what we saw on the football field. I'll give you an example. I'm a Texans fan. A guy who stood out for the Texans, obviously Tyrod Taylor. He would be one. You could give him a decent item. Pharaoh Brown, tight end. He's never going to get an upgrade this year. Tyrod Taylor might get a veteran or something. He could very well be already in, you know? So let's even say he's already playing for a few months down the road. He's going to get an item because he a lot of times does, you know, he'll get a better item. Pharaoh Brown, no way he's playing at all, right? Nobody owns him in fantasy, anything. But he had 4 catches, 76 yards, I think it was the number. Looked good, right? He'll never get another item, probably. Unless he has a good fantasy day or a good day. He's not going to have another item. What about giving him like an 85? Right? Like, give him an 85. Help the theme teams. Like, you know, I personally think there's a lot they could do with what actually happened. And I'm just giving out one player that won. You could do this with a lot of teams. Like, it doesn't have to be some crazy big name. And then, of course, people will tell me that doesn't sell packs, right? And that is always the issue with anything, is it has to be able to sell packs. It doesn't actually matter with the people already playing and just playing to have a good time. I feel like we've gotten away from that. And eventually this model will go away. There's no way this can possibly work long term. I know it's worked for a while, but eventually, I guess you keep trying to get more people. You try to get them to spend more money. You alienate enough people. The demographics for the game, people that play Madden, are already much older than a lot of other video games. You alienate these whales, the people that spend a lot of money, have a lot of money. Usually those are the older people. it's going to be, you're going to start seeing some repercussions for the bottom line. Now, that's down the line. That's something that's not necessarily right now. And I do think, there's a ways before that actually happens. But I feel like that's one of the issues that I have is it seems like the content is made to make money. It's not made to be fun. And there's very few items. We got an 80 overall, we got 287s, and then we got the heroes. But like, it doesn't seem like there's actually, we get the limiters on Thursday. Those seem like a complete money grab. I don't hate it. Like, I think, like, when I get my Texan, like, I always want to pick them up, but they're way more expensive. Their pull rates are crazy low, all that. It seems like it's just about making money on Thursdays. That's fine, but that seems like it's completely about making money, right? That's what Thursdays limiteds look like. So you have that in there. Legends, the limits again are super rare. Those, they make a lot of money, I'm sure, on legend weekends, especially when it's big time legends. But it just seems like we're not in the business of trying to make a good quality content. We're in the business of, oh wait, how do we make the most money out of this content? Okay, there's not a whole lot of people that are engaging in an 85 Pharaoh Brown for the Texans, so there's no reason to give Pharaoh Brown. And it doesn't, he had a good game, but it doesn't really matter if he had a good game. It doesn't matter if the Texans won. None of this matters because we don't see it in the numbers. It doesn't, the fact that the players feel good, it's hard to quantify that. So the fact that they're giving us 16 85s every week on the players that actually played the game, players that maybe don't even get upgrades, but had good games, that had a crazy cool move, had a crazy cool stiff arm, had a huge hit, had, a big time play at the end, it doesn't matter because it doesn't look like we're making much money off that. And we're putting in too much time. And I feel like that's kind of where it is going. And it's really unfortunate because I think there's so much room to make this game so much better. There's 1,700 active players. A lot of them don't even have items in the game. They don't even have items. Not even in the game. Even though they play. How do they not have an item? Because it's not worth the time. It's not worth putting in a defensive tackle. Even though the team doesn't even have a defense tackle in Mutt. They should, but they don't. It's not worth putting the punter in. It's not worth any of this. Because we don't see the actual benefit of it in the bottom line. And it's not even so much on a knock on the people that make the content. I do think they're probably, one, I don't know how much there are even a content team right now. I think there's not a whole lot of people working content, even though it's like obviously their big money maker. I don't think there's probably a whole lot of people doing it. So I don't know how many resources they actually have. It's more about the overarching, like the higher ups just not allowing them to have the flexibility. Again, I could be wrong on this. I mean, they might have the flexibility and just choose not to do that and just collect a paycheck. But I'm guessing it's more that they don't have the resources available to do these things that just make a lot more sense, I think. So here's the thing. So Mondays, you make 20 team of the week cards, right? Based on what actually happened. I think making lesser known names would be cool. Like give us, like 16 mid 80s, and as the year goes on, it would be higher. But like cards that aren't going to break the game, aren't going to be like on every roster, but the people running theme teams or just even budget players, you could have those. 16 of them, 85s, team of the week. It doesn't have to be 88s, doesn't have to be 90s. It could be, if you wanted to go, but I don't think they'll do that every week. Okay, maybe 86s, if you wanted to. Even if it would be nice to give them power-ups too, but that would be a lot of work. I get that. So you have that. No power-ups. We'll just say the team of the week. And then you have your hero. You have a few, just kind of what they're doing, the top-end guys. Good. All right? And then Wednesday, Wildcard Wednesday, no real beefs, except for the fact, obviously, it's probably already planned out. And the Rising Star promo was, to me, like, cool. They were good players, but I think they should be players that are actually rising stars. Like, we actually see that they did something on the field and not people that we've never seen. Why is Diablo a rising star? I don't understand when he literally has never played a snap. He's a third-round pick. He's not even a safety. He's a linebacker now. It makes no sense on why he was chosen. But besides the fact that he's tall and he's fast, I guess that's what they like for why they chose him. That makes absolutely no sense. But no complaints on the Wildcard Wednesday, whatever there. Thursdays, limiteds. I don't know how to fix those. I think I'll give EA the money grab. You can have Thursdays. Every team gets a limited throughout 16 weeks, and then I think they go through it again. But that's fine, I guess. I'm not going to complain too much about that. I do think obviously the pull rates are too low, but what? I don't have the information behind, so it's easy for to say that. The cards sometimes are not really that great anyways, so they're expensive and they're not great. If they're great, they're probably more expensive, so whatever. You can have Thursdays. Fridays, that's your promo day, whatever you decide to do with that. And then Saturday Legends. I'm not going to complain too much about it, except again that I do think overall, when you look at the promos that we have, Campus Heroes, Theme Diamonds, Legends, a lot of MUT, and this goes back to the Team of the Week thing, a lot of MUT is focused on former players, not current. And you're like, well, if you want current, you play regs. But, like you want like a blend, right? You don't want, I feel like if you're doing a Texans team, well, they pretty much, if they're any good, they're not too old. They don't really have any legends, obviously, because they're pretty new franchise. But if you're doing your favorite, theme team, you want good current players and good former players, right? That's a cool blend. It seems like it's more like a lot of former players, and then not that many good current players. I think there needs to be a better blend. For me, I think, yeah, if you say, well, just play regs if you want the current players, that would be a common response to it. To me, I want both. I want good current players and good former players. I think Campus Heroes is cool. I think it was pretty cool. I a lot of good items there. I think it would be nice to see current players get that kind of love, but yeah, a good amount of items. Because it's not like these guys were like amazing football players for most part. Theme Diamonds always fun. I like the idea. Cool. And Legends always big. A lot of people like that. No issues, no qualms. But then you got to look at the rest. There's so much more focused on the former players. I guess that's the money makers than the current players, the ones they have all these rights to. They pay all the money to, and it seems like they don't really use it in MUT, to me, in my opinion, to the best of their abilities. But let me know what you guys think. I could be completely wrong here. I'm open to conversation. I look at it and I'm like, man, wouldn't this game be so much more fun? Wouldn't there be obviously the gameplay? I mean, what do you say? Fix the gameplay? I mean, what am I supposed to say about that? That's of course. But wouldn't the game be so much more fun if the content was more about what actually you see every week? You watch your team and it actually coincides, it links together right with MUT. You see these moments that you watched on the game, these big moments where big play or something, you see that player, that moment when they had this huge play, and it actually is somewhat a card that links somewhat like that. That's why I don't think it should be like a 70 overall, because he had a 64 before. Give him a mid 80s, 88 something, if you want to go higher. I don't know. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. I'm open to conversation. Like the video if you enjoy. Leave a comment, like I said, and enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend whenever you're watching this. And hopefully I'll see you back soon. Peace.